Pascal's law. Pascal's law, or fluid pressure transmission principle, states that if you apply pressure at one point in a confined incompressible liquid, this pressure is transmitted through the liquid so that the same pressure change occurs everywhere. Avogadro's law. Avogadro's law states that for a given mass of ideal gas, the volume and quantity of the gas are directly proportional if the temperature and pressure are constant. Faraday's law. Faraday's law is a physical law that describes the phenomenon of electromagnetic induction, which occurs when the flow of the magnetic field through the surface delimited by an electric circuit is variable over time. Metcalfe's law. Metcalfe's law gauges the importance and influence of networks by evaluating the connections between users. When there are only two participants, they can only connect with each other, creating one edge. As the number of participants grows, there are more unique connections. Snell's law of refraction. Snell's law of refraction describes how light changes direction when it passes from one transparent medium to another. Graham's law. Graham's law describes the relationship between the rate of diffusion or effusion of a gas and its molecular weight. If one gas has a molecular weight 4 times that of another, it will diffuse at half the rate through a small hole. Kepler's laws of planetary motion. Kepler's laws describe how planets orbit the Sun. The first law states that all planets orbit the Sun in elliptical paths, with the Sun located at one of the foci. The second law states that a line connecting a planet to the Sun covers an equal area in equal periods of time. If you measure the area created by drawing a line from the Earth to the Sun and track its movement over a 6-month period, the area will be the same regardless of where the Earth is in its orbit when the measurements begin. The third law states that the squares of the orbital periods of the planets are directly proportional to the cubes of the semi-major axes of their orbits. This implies that the period for a planet to orbit the Sun increases rapidly with the radius of its orbit. Newton's law of force and acceleration. Newton's law of force and acceleration states that if you apply a force to an object, it will accelerate or change its speed in proportion to its mass. Henry's law. Henry's law describes the solubility of a gas in a liquid. It states that the amount of gas dissolved in a liquid is directly proportional to the partial pressure of the gas above the surface of the liquid. Newton's law of inertia. Newton's law of inertia